So hey everybody, welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant and I'm very pleased to be joined today by Mike Penfold from Longridge. Hey Mike.
Hiya, how you doing?
All right mate, good to see you. So Longridge are basically a printing company, but Mike's going to tell us a little bit more about that. But we're going to start off by talking about the exhibition industry because that's kicking off again. Mike's already told us his story and you can see a link to that here from a previous podcast, but we're going to go into about exhibitions and how they're kicking off and how Mike can help. So yeah, take it away, Mike.
Yeah, so we've found that a lot of, obviously, exhibitions are coming back with the lifting of all the restrictions due to COVID.
Yeah.
So we're just sort of starting to see that come back on board. So it's not just about if you want to, if it's a big exhibition, obviously you want to stand, you want everything that goes along with that. So that could be anything from a promo, coffee cup, or some sort of giveaway like a pen or whatever, but also then a brochure for the products and everything else, and we can do all of that. But we don't just do it for big companies, we can do it for smaller companies as well. So anything from a one-man band, we can literally do a pop-up stand which would sit inside of basically the size of a wheelie bin, and you can put everything in there, so you can wheel it straight in, take it out of the boot of your car, and away you go. So that can be branded as well, so we go through the whole branding side of it. So then that's everything from telling your clients that you're going to that exhibition, and the exhibition itself and everything that goes along, so you look like a 100% professional when you're there.
So that includes like pens, mugs, all the background, everything that goes in a box.
Absolutely everything. Perfect. Yeah. So you can do the whole thing. So you've got your brochures, your giveaways, your business cards, everything that you would normally associate with an exhibition. Yeah. And it can be a big, huge one at somewhere like the XL. Yeah. Or it can be a smaller sort of version of something. I know there's one going on over in Weald somewhere, which is sort of like 250 exhibitors. So quite a small option. So smaller companies going to that.
Nice. Well, I guess that exhibitions are really important as far as marketing goes, and obviously print goes alongside it, doesn't it? Talk to us about the climate-friendly approach that you take, because that's quite interesting when you were saying earlier.
So everything that we produce, we can carbon offset. All the paper, all the substrates that we use are environmentally friendly anyway. But also the whole job itself, the process of producing it, can be carbon offset. So we can offset everything that is the carbon that is used to produce the job can all be offset, and that is part of the deal that we do. Right. So we are a climate friendly printer, really.
Yeah, right.
So that's what it's all about.
And that's all over your website and all over your marketing material as well, I guess.
Yes, it's all over everything. Yeah, if you want to find out how it works, then go and have a look. At the moment, you can put the money that comes out of it, we put towards taking plastics out of the sea.
Right.
And the reason for that is obviously it's a plastic, it's going into the sea, it's it's not environmentally friendly at all. Yeah. But that's the thing that we want. But you can push it to different areas. There's about 7 other projects on the website that is you can see where the money goes to.
Okay. Tell us a bit about Longridge, about who they are and what they do.
Longridge is 52 years old, which is older than me. I got involved.
You don't look it.
I got involved in 1999 as a sales manager, and I now own the company and have done outright for the last 3 years. But I've been an owner director of it since 2006. So we've moved areas, so we were based in Crowborough, and the lease in the building came to an end, so we moved ourselves over to East Peckham. Easier access to the M25 and to London and the trains and everything else than Crowborough, but and it's been a success. So we've been there now for 8 months. We took all the machinery over. It was quite a stressful time moving everything, as you can imagine. I think you saw the pictures of all the lorries of machinery going across, which was quite scary at points, but we're all settled in. We have been now for 8 months, so it's a really good move for us. It's been a great feeling for us, and it's now the next sort of generation of the business moving forward. Sometimes
I'm sure you didn't need it, but a move like that freshens things up as well, doesn't it? Gives you new approaches and new thoughts, new ideas, perhaps.
Absolutely, and I think it was definitely for me. I knew the building was coming to the end of the lease. We looked at it. It was realistically too big for us at the time, and to find something that's actually a bit more the way we need it, and we've managed to sort of put the business together. I think you've been over, you've seen it. So we've got our offices in one area, and then we've got both the units over the other side. So all our pick and packs in one of those units, and all the machinery's in the other. But we've taken on some other bits and pieces. We do all our own mailing in house now, which we used to outsource. So we see everything coming in and out.
Yeah.
So every single thing that we do goes out through bin. I think if we work it out to a 12-month period, we're sending out about 3 million pieces at the moment. Hopefully 5 million this year. So
nice.
We'll see where that ends up.
Yeah, very good, very good. We're going to talk about variable data as well, and how fashionable again the door droppers become. I say fashionable again because I think people just tend to not think it would work, but now it's got an opportunity to work, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think it's something that we got approached by one of our clients. And we were a little bit surprised that they came back to us and asked to do it. And they said, can you produce 90,000 leaflets? And I said, well, what do you want to do with them? So I'm going to put them through people's letterboxes. And we went, well, hang on a minute. What do you want to say? Where do you want to say it to? What's your area? What sort of people do you want to hit? And they were an estate agent and or a lettings agency, and they said, we want to do a particular area. And we said, okay, let's have a look. So we can dive into the data of the area. And we can find out how many houses are there, or how many residential or business addresses are in that area. And then we can basically pick and choose where we do it. So if we pick a postcode, that's what we want to do. So we worked out with the client where they wanted it to go. And they wanted to touch those people 4 times. That was how they wanted to do it. It was a client's issue. We said, we really think you should go for 7. Yeah. They said, we're going to do 4, see where we go. So we're doing 22,000 a time, 22,000 plus a few extras per time. We do it over a 4-week period, and that goes to that. And the results have been amazing. They're quite shocked, and so are we, because the results, I mean, when you go back sort of probably 10 years when it was going on, if you got 1%, you were doing very well. Right. And we're looking at sort of 4.6 to 5% at the moment. So that's a real eye-opener. But you've got a captive market because a lot of people are still hybrid working. So they're at home a little bit more than they were before. You know, a lot of people have gone back to the office, but maybe only 3 days a week. And I think people like it like that. So you've got that captive audience of somebody who's actually in the house now. So if you're selling a product or that, and if you look at your own, what's going through your own letterbox, I mean, Waitrose are doing it. Yeah. You know, so some of the big guys have started doing it as well. But we're doing it with lots of, from small companies to much larger size companies. It's easier for the advertiser to find the person now because they're sitting at home. So it's easier. That's it. Yeah, I think if it's you know, it used to be just, you know, your local pizza delivery person or something like that, whereas now I think it's actually big companies realising that they've got a product to sell in that area. We've just done it for a company that's opening new shops in areas like that, so we then door drop in that area, so they've got that. I think when you get stuff through your letterbox, as opposed to getting something on email, you're more likely to read it, or at least look at it when it comes to your letterbox rather than an email. So I know they go hand in hand, but it's a good method of getting to the client now, isn't it? Yeah. So we do, door drop is the most basic of levels, and that's obviously areas. If you want to hit specific areas, as I said, if you're opening a shop in that area or you've got a new product that you want to launch in that area, then that's a good way of doing it. The second level of that is as you said, variable data. So that is a personalised piece that goes out to the client. So again, we can look into the amount of people via. Look at the dynamics of your customers and see what they are, what their age group is, what their, what sort of earnings they need to be, what kind of house they live in, and stuff like that. So we can look at that for B2C, but then B2B we could look at customers. So for businesses, so somebody that's got 10 million turnover. And 35 staff or whatever the criteria is of your best customers, we can find out in that area or across the country how many of those people are available to you to be able to direct mail. And then we can direct mail them with a piece that you've either designed yourself or you've worked with a designer, or we can help you along the lines of how that works. And then you can move on to sort of the next thing which I mentioned, which was the circle. Yes, tell us about the circle. I'm intrigued what the circle is. I really want to rebrand it to a different name, but this is how we call it at the moment. So it's a software, and basically the Chartered Institute of Marketing say you should touch everybody 7 times.
Yeah.
So the first bit we do is social media posts that go out. And again, we can do that, or you can do that yourself, or your social media company can do that for you.
Yeah.
And then we do an email. So the first email goes out to again, the criteria that we've discussed with the client. The non-responders from the first email get a second email. The non-responders from that then get a direct mail piece. The direct mail piece is again a personalised piece that goes direct to that client. The non-responders from that then get a second direct mail piece, and then it's finished off with a phone call and a phone call. So there's 7 pieces, and they call it the circle because we go all the way around.
Okay.
And then we get to the end of the data and we say, right, these are the people that didn't respond from the data. What would you like to do with those? Do you want to send a different message to them?
Right.
Or do you want to do anything else? So again, you've touched them 7 times.
Yeah.
We find that mainly the social media bit pushes out your details and your branding and everything else that goes along with that. Then you get your direct email, which again just enforces that.
Yeah, strengthens it up.
It strengthens up your brand and who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
We find that mainly the most responses come on the third touch, which is or the third touch, which is the direct mail piece, because it's a physical thing. It's something they can keep. It's usually it's an offer of some kind, or free quotation, something like that. And then they come around with that and go, and they respond to that. So we get the majority of that. But if they don't respond to that, then they get the next piece, and then the phone call and the phone call. And then, obviously, if they don't want to be touched again, we can take them off of that data and that mailing.
Okay.
So, yeah, the whole thing goes around in a circle.
In a circle.
Really.
That's
Hence
why
it's called the circle.
Yeah. And how does that? The length of time that takes, is that over a 6-month period, 3-month, or how does that work?
On the circle one, on the circle one, it's actually not too bad because it basically we push it around through a sort of 4-week circle.
Okay.
So we start off and then we go all the way round, so we get that information to them, because if it is an offer or something, you don't want it lasting over a long time.
True. Yeah. Okay.
The door drop thing, again, we can do that. It takes from the start to finish, it's a month. So from the start of coming up with the design, everything else that goes along with it, all the way through to getting to the very end when it's actually delivered to the client. That's the same. All of these things. But again, if you look at it, so if you come back to us and you say, look, this is my criteria of my best customers, how many people are there? And we say there's 40,000. And you say, I can't afford to hit 40,000 people. And we don't want you to hit 40,000 people in one go. We want you to hit 4,000 people a month over 10 months.
Okay.
And then we can either change the offer that you're putting out every time. And then we just do that. So again, it's good for your cash flow. Yeah. Because you're only spending a smaller amount every month. It's a monthly fee rather than just a one-off big payment. Plus the other side of it is if you don't have a call centre and you're not a massive company, and there's only like yourself or a couple of salespeople in your company, then if you got a response rate of 10 or let's say 5 on a door drop piece, you get a response rate of that. If you're sending out 40,000 pieces and you've got a response rate of 5%, then that's going to give you 2,000 inquiries.
Right. Okay.
Can you deal with 2,000 inquiries? No one can unless you've got a massive call centre somewhere. So what we're trying to do is reduce that down and mean that you get a smaller amount of responses per month, but you get a continual flow, a continual feed of inquiries coming in for your product or your service or whatever. So it means that you've got an ongoing marketing plan all the way through a 10-12 month period, and then you can re-look at it, you can change the message in between, or whatever you want to do with that.
It becomes very manageable and also very measurable again as well, I guess.
We measure the circle one actually measures the responses because we know who's responded where. So at the end of the month we come back to you and we say, right, these are the people that responded on social media, these are the people that responded on the first email, second email, direct mail piece, everything. And then we get to the end and go, these are the people that didn't respond at all. So if there's 10,000 people in your data, we can go through the whole lot and we come back and say, right, these are the people that didn't respond, and you can see a whole pattern of what emerges.
Right.
The door drop thing, again, that's much more of a sort of, hit it and see what responses you will gauge your own responses from that. And if you've got a code for someone to go on your website and get a free quote, then you can measure your response rates through them.
Yeah.
But we work closely with you because we want to make sure it works, and we want to find out if it works and what works better, so that we can make it a better service.
Yeah, it sounds like a really foolproof system to get to who you want to get to, and you know, a nice little package for businesses, and I think that's what they want, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you and I both know social media does do an awful lot.
Yeah.
And so does, you know, I think email sort of maybe had its day or is moving away, but you need that stuff to go across all medias, because you need to talk to people on every level.
Yeah.
You know, some young people will not pick up a magazine or a newspaper and read an advert anymore.
Yeah.
They will go down and if they've got something dropped on their door with their post, then they will look at it and open it, especially if it's personalised to them, because it makes them feel a little bit special.
Yeah, so, we all like a bit of that, don't we?
Yeah, a little bit of the old velvet glove is always nice, isn't it, as they say?
The velvet glove, yeah. Well, thanks, Mike. That's been great. Thanks for coming on the podcast. It's been really interesting hearing what you've been up to, and that little package, not little, but that big package that you offer. I think a lot of businesses can benefit from. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Nick. It's been great.
So thanks for listening. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe to us, and we'll see you for another podcast soon. Thanks very much.